What's going on, guys? I consider myself a jack of all trades, but my name's Jeff, so welcome back to Jeff of All Trades. Today we're going to be going over the Omega 36M again, although this time I'm going to show you how to break it down into the pistol-sized silencer from the full size that we used on the previous video with the 300 Blackout here, and show you just a few things about it. This will be a nice and quick video. Maybe we'll get a few rounds off with this Glock 17. Let's get right into it. All right, and getting right into it, I want to talk about this case I have first. I know this is not silencer related, but this is how I carry my silencer, and I just have it all squared away in here with all the parts that I'll need. I just wanted to touch on this. This isn't sponsored or anything. This is just a Harbor Freight. It's the Apache 1800. It's used for pretty much anything, but I love this case. You can cut it out for whatever you need. It's got these little perforations in here where you can just rip them out by your fingers. It has multiple layers to it, so you can have things go as deep as you want it to go, as deep as the box is. And it's really great for making your own kind of storage safe locker. It's watertight, weather tight, everything like that, shock proof, all that. So if you wanted to put a camera in it, maybe a spotting scope, a silencer, anything like that. This was at Harbor Freight. It was like 20 bucks. And yeah, I really love it. So shout out to Apache 1800 and Harbor Freight, I guess. But without going any more into the box, let's get right into the silencer itself. So if you guys saw my other video, you saw the Omega 36M in all of its glory. When it was full size, when it fit on the 300 Blackout. And I just want to go over in good detail of how to take this thing apart, how to put it into the pistol silencer or the full-size 300. With that said, and I'm sure I'll mention it again, you can have this in its full size and still use it on the pistol. It's just a little bit quieter, but it's also a little bit more cumbersome. I mean, the whole silencer's about as long as a Glock 17 as it is. So let's get into a little bit of the details of that. As it is right now, it is set and ready to go for the pistol. So you have your cap on the front here. The caps do change out with different calibers to make sure that the bullet is not too big to go through to bust this out. So it does have different fronts for this depending on the caliber that you're shooting. And the back here, this is threaded with the correct pitch for a standard threaded barrel size. Now, the threaded barrels that I currently use are the ones from 9x19. I've talked about them before, but they're killer barrels. They look really cool, and I mean, they have amazing performance. So these are the ones that I'm currently using on my pistol. This is the, not OEM, but this is a Glock threaded barrel that I have as well. Obviously, it has the same thread pitch on it, so anything that has a standard thread pitch will fit this thread here for your pistols. So this piece here is for the smaller barrels. This cap right here unscrews. Now, just to be clear, we have these two tools here, and I'll show you how these are used, but this is finger tight right now for the purpose of the video. But in order to safely shoot the suppressor, when you put any new parts on, you should have the correct amount of torque. So you need to put this one on the bottom part of the silencer, just like that. And then you'll put this one on the top and go ahead and squeeze them shut until it's as tight can be while shooting. So I do that every time that I shoot, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to have everything finger tight. But these tools that come with the set are used, they have multiple purposes too. That's why this one looks like this. So we'll just leave this here for now. So if you wanted to put this, let's say, back into the full size, unscrew this collar here, and then take the internals out. This collar will also come off. Per the instructions, this piece is supposed to be just finger tight. That will come off completely. Then you can take out this, I don't know, call it a diaphragm, call it whatever you want to call it. And your spring comes out. This front cap here, you can see all these little dimples in the top of this faceplate here. And you can also see that this tool has 3 little nubs that will fit directly into those. And you can unscrew that front cap. The unfortunate thing about the 36M, one of the downfalls that I have with it, is that with all of these changes, if you're going to continue to change it out, which is the benefit of having the 36M, if you're going to change it out for rifle and for pistol, you're going to continue to use these tools, then unfortunately, you're going to start seeing these wear marks. You can see the silver, the scratches, and everything else on this. It's not going to look pretty after your first day of using it. I can also show you the scratch marks and the ding marks on this just from tightening it and loosening it. It's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world because it is going to get scratched, because to take it on and off you need to use these tools. So that just might be something you want to look out for if this is your intended next silencer. So now that we have that cap off, we can go ahead and screw on this attachment. All this is simply a extension for the silencer. So when you put this on, you're going to put it on right where that end cap came off. When you put this on, all it's doing is making the silencer a little bit longer, which is going to have more baffles in the silencer, which is going to make your shot a little bit quieter. So when you're using the larger rounds like the 300, perhaps you're going to be using 223 with it, which I wouldn't recommend just because the sound doesn't really soften as much as the 300 blackout does, which it's intended to do. But you can use that as well. But this makes it a little bit longer, which makes it a little bit quieter if you're going to be using those larger rounds. So now it's in the full size mode. Go ahead and put that cap back on. You want to start by just finger tightening it on. Make sure you find those grooves, you're not cross-threading anything. Although they do say that cross-threading is nature's Loctite. You don't want to do that with this. So go ahead and tighten that cap on. And again, this is just finger tight until we have to use that tool. It's finger tight. Go ahead and find those holes. Put a bit of pressure. And it's tightened down exactly where it's supposed to be. Now the last step, as you saw before, we took out all the pieces for the pistol here. The only thing you need for the rifle is this, I'll call it a collar. I'm sure that's not what it's called. But you want to put this in first. It's right in place as it should. And then you're going to want to put this collar onto this fitting. You go ahead and tighten that down. And then of course you would use both of these, one on each end. You would have one holding on here, then the other one on this end to really tighten it down before shooting. But just for video's sake, we're just going to tighten it down by hand. And this actually has the quick connect on the silencer, which is very, very nice. You see these two pieces here, and when you loosen, these go off, and when you tighten, you can actually see the metal thicken on the collar there, and when you tighten them, those actually squeeze in closer and closer together until it latches on to the barrel. So real quick, I'll show you how that goes with the 300 blackout. So with this, you have the compensator here that you have to buy extra. It's about $100, but you see the thick threads on here at the base of it. Those will actually go into here and quick screw on. So we're just going to put this on, give it a few quick rotations. Silencer is on. Once it's on, give it one more tight squeeze, and then if you can see here, this lock position, you're going to rotate this collar to the locked position. So go ahead and tighten it. That's about it. Let's go ahead and tighten this. And now, as you can see, it is in that locked position. So that's all you need to put the silencer on a rifle. So the first thing, let's go ahead and get this off. Again, it will be much tighter than that. You will have to use your tools. Go ahead and pull your insert out. And then you want to take off this front piece here just so it's a little bit more manageable. Before we do that, I'm going to put all these pieces back into the silencer to show you just how large this silencer is on a full-size Glock 17. It's a little bit too much. So we're going to want to go ahead and put everything back together. So go ahead and put your spring, slide it into here. It's not science, not that difficult. Go ahead and put your cap on here and screw it in. And now since we have this off already, which is used for the 300 blackout or rifle, this will slide right into this big opening, fit like a glove. Go ahead and put this piece on. Again, you will lock it down. I'm just going to give it a nice snug tighten. And then let's put it on the pistol. Just like in all those James Bond movies, right? So you go ahead and put it on, give it a nice tight, and there you go. But look how long that thing is, man. Might look pretty cool, but when you're holding this thing, it's definitely front heavy, and I don't know, looks a little bit too big to me. So let's go ahead and take this front piece off and shorten up the silencer. It might look a little bit more normal. So let's go ahead and take this off the pistol. By the way, for everybody that's gonna complain and everything, it is clean, and it's not complaining. I understand, safety first, but I'm extremely safe. I would never do anything that was not safe, especially when I'm doing this in an area where my family sleeps. So we don't have to worry about that, but we can keep the magazine out if it'll make you more comfortable. Now, you're going to take off this front cap part right here. So this front section of the silencer. Again, oh, I might need the tool. See, there you go. Get to see the tool in action. It's okay that I'm flagging my hand. There's nothing attached to it. I am fine, I promise. Again, we'll take this tool to take this cap off because at this point, this is going to be your new pistol silencer. So we want this cap to go onto here. Now that that's off, go ahead and screw that cap back onto here. Now it's a little bit more manageable, right? So let's go ahead and put that on the pistol. Now that just looks a hell of a lot better, doesn't it? Much like you would imagine a silencer on a pistol. So let's go out to the range, take a few shots with this thing, and we'll see how it sounds. This is now with the smaller suppressor. Instead of having the full-size one that we use with the rifles, this is the smaller one just for pistols. So no hearing pro. Let's see how it works. I'd say that works pretty good. Pretty quiet too. So there you have it. If you saw the other video, you know how it sounds when we have the full-size suppressor on. Now you know how it sounds. Now you know how it sounds with the smaller suppressor on it. And just a little bit of modification, still super fun to shoot, still super quiet. I absolutely love it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please remember to subscribe. Let me know if you picked up an Omega 36M from the last video I made. And as always, be safe. I'll see you in the next one.